Man, oh man, we're gonna go back in time. So, back in the day, there used to be a channel called RomanAtwood Vlogs. All right, I'm sure everyone knows of this channel. If you haven't, all right, if you aren't a YouTube OG, RomanAtwood, famous for his pranks. RomanAtwood pranks. Back in the prank days, RomanAtwood uh, used to be a prankster turned vlogger, and now he's a podcaster. Went through all the the seven phases. He went through all of them, and now he's a podcaster. And man, I was just vibing one day on YouTube. Came across a YouTube short of like his podcast, and I seen an old face on there, McJuggerNuggets. All right, now McJuggerNuggets uh, back in the day used to make rage videos. Now these were a really big like thing. Like there used to be a video on YouTube of like a kid shoving a controller up his ass or something because his World of Warcraft subscription got canceled, and it's like, damn, feeling for that kid. But Mick Juggernuggets, he made a whole thing, a whole series that people didn't even know was a series at the time called Psycho Dad, right? And this was pretty much he would make a video about him playing a game, and then all of a sudden his dad would come in, unplug the console, say, "Hey, you're getting a job," and go outside and beat the Xbox up with a hammer or some shit while his evil brother holds the camera and laughs, and McJuggernuggets is out there screaming because his 360's being fucking John Cena'd on right now, right? And so there's some background for you. Now, McJuggerNuggets went on, you know, well, actually, I'm not done with McJuggerNuggets. So he goes on, does the Psycho Dad series for like 5 years, right? And this whole time he's playing it like it's real life. All right, it's real. Psychos everywhere. He is a psycho. Everything's crazy. All right, and he immersed millions of views from this. Obviously, people would call him out, be like, "Hey, this is fake. The door wasn't on this way," and or picking it apart, picking the videos apart. "Hey, this is the same Xbox he used." All that shit, trying to pick it apart and find lies in the story to say, "Hey, this is just a series on YouTube. It's just made up stuff, right?" And it was like the first of this kind. That's why it was so like interesting. It was the first big YouTube series, like not even scripted, but like it was a YouTube series. It was the first of its kind, the first big kind. All right, it was very very cool for its time. Psycho series, look it up. All right, a big YouTube history piece right there. Right, and now through this time, like I said, people would make exposed videos on him. People would like trying to call out McJuggerNuggets for like lying or making a story or whatever, and to go along with the story, McJuggerNuggets just had to ignore all that shit and keep grinding away with making these psycho videos, right? So he does that for 5 years, and then he eventually ends the series, and it became this whole like, holy shit, he it was a series. Everyone acts surprised, and a lot of people were surprised. A lot of people thought it was real, and yeah, it turned off a lot of people in the end because he immersed this whole fan base of people thinking whatever he was posting was real, and then he comes out and says, "Hey, it was just a meme," and his views declined, right? So on this podcast, Roman makes like some. It just happened like out of the blue. Like Roman just said something. McJuggernuggets just starts kind of going nuts, like psycho kid, and he starts crying and slamming the mic and stuff. But instantly, it's like it's it's scripted. Instantly, uh, because it's so bad acting. Uh, and then all of a sudden, Roman Atwood is sitting there like he doesn't know what to do. McJuggernuggets is like screaming away about some shit Roman doesn't even understand. Uh, and then McJuggernuggets leaves, and then he comes back with a camera, and the whole thing, it was just a joke. You got pranked, right? Like reverse pranking Roman Atwood. And it's like everyone's like sitting there laughing awkwardly after thinking they just witnessed some manic episode, some manic breakdown. It was very awkward and strange, and it got me into like looking at these old YouTube channels like RomanAtwood and shit, and it's like they fell off, dude. Holy shit! Like without the pranks, RomanAtwood ain't doing much. Without the psycho videos, McJuggerNuggets ain't doing much. And then it's like I got into looking at Boogie2988, and he's now just like he'll do his boogie character, and then he'll shove some food down his face, say some stupid wild shit, and then he goes and makes a video with Kid Behind the Camera, which is another like McJuggerNuggets type YouTuber where they film like all this crazy shit going on, but 90% of it's scripted or planned out. Like it's not it becomes cringe because you understand that they're just acting, and it's like you pick up on how they act, and it's just you can pick it apart so quickly once you figure that out, like what their acting tone is. you know Everyone has that like high pitched I am acting voice when they don't know how to act, and I have the same thing, so I'm not talking shit, I'm just having information sprayed, all right. But man, when I seen that short, like I wanted to do a react video to it, but I think just me, I'm just gonna put it in the description below and you can watch it for yourself. But it's just like, if you know anything about old school YouTube, it's like such a fever dream seeing that, and then to just scroll down in the comments and everyone's like, this is sad. Because it's like the podcast itself doesn't have that many views, right? It's a small RomanAtwood podcast. No one's really wanting to listen to RomanAtwood talk, right? And then you got McJuggerNuggets on here, and he's having a meltdown, but it's like a pretend meltdown. There's no tears or anything. And he's going on about his psycho dad, and it's like, brother, it was a series. I'm sure they know that. And RomanAtwood has to like stand there and kind of just smile, but like I couldn't tell if he was actually like spooked or he was just like, this is dumb, which I think it was a mixture of both, because I would have been also spooked at how he can like McJuggerNuggets can switch like that, right? It was so wild. It felt like I was watching an alternate reality like fucking show, bro. I didn't get it. All right, like it was nutty. McJuggerNuggets like called whoever he was on the show with fat. Like he called the guest fat, and the dude's just like, "What the fuck did I do?" And then McJuggerNuggets leaves, and they're all like, "Well, that was interesting." And RomanAtwood even said, he's like, "I don't know whether to believe that was real or fake," which is true, because McJuggerNuggets he'll do that where he'll make another YouTube series, he'll say it's all real, and he'll have some crazy shit happen in it. And then when it ends, it's like, oh, that was just another McJuggerNuggets YouTube series. Like, the acting was so good, when in reality, you just lied to everybody, right? And uh, it was just like he came back and he started shoving a camera in everyone's face, like, haha, you got pranked. And everyone's just like, yeah, ha ha ha, funny, dude. Like, you could tell they were all just kind of spooked. It had a whole bad vibe to it. And then it's like I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, what if that bad vibe I'm feeling was put there on purpose? Like they all planned that out to make this a really awkward video, because that's just like that's the style McJuggerNuggets goes for, to make things awkward and tense like that. But it was just interesting. Uh, and then it was also interesting to go down like the rabbit hole of these old school YouTubers like RomanAtwood, JuggerNuggets, Kid Behind the Camera, even like FouseyTube I was looking at. It's just wild how fast time goes and what happens to like these YouTubers after a while when they aren't getting the views that they used to, and it makes you think like, geez, like you really depended on that view count for like just your personality. Like when those views go away, your personality goes with them. It's just a sad realization of how fake YouTube can kind of be. You really got to look out for the stuff you watch, or else you'll get put into a YouTube trap hole where you're just watching all of this fake shit all day, and I feel like that's pretty unhealthy. But man, I guess it's not anything different from what you could watch on TV, right? I guess because all that's pretty much fake as well. So yeah, I just wanted to vent about that. Not even vent. I just thought it was interesting. I'll link the McJuggerNuggets and RomanAtwood clip below. But man, I thought it was so awkward and so strange, and I thought the reaction from Roman was much stranger because it's like if this was meant to be like scripted or something, it sure as hell didn't seem it. Like whatever you guys did, guys did it good, or maybe too good because it's making me think that it was extremely awkward. So yeah, that's all I got.